The top 10 things that you can do to get yourself and your family prepared for those emergencies. Not all of your prepping has to be, or even should be, for long-term SHTF, Road Warrior, Walking Dead type scenario. Are you and your family prepared for short-term disasters and emergencies that might affect local or regional areas? Disasters or emergencies that don't destroy your house, but leave you without power, perhaps without water, and so on. Disasters like some of these: hurricanes, tornadoes, ice storms, snowstorms, power grid failures, rolling blackouts, water system failures. And the list could go on. It is my opinion, and only my opinion, that all of us, or each of us, any of us, are far more likely to experience a short-term, localized, regional disaster emergency than we are the big event. Is the big event going to happen? I absolutely believe it is. I don't know when, but in the meantime, we need to get prepared for the short-term disasters. The top 10 things that you can do to get yourself and your family prepared for those emergencies. And after the 10 items, we will look at some things that you might need in your particular situation. So stick around till the end. So now we're going to look at the 10 items. If you're on a budget like we are, you can do one per week or one per month. You can also include these in your overall preps for long-term SHTF preps as well. Thing or item number 1, a secondary heat source in case something happens in the wintertime. That obviously is a Mr. Buddy heater. I'm not advocating for those. It's just what we have. It uses propane. It is safe to use indoors. I advise you get a heater and fuel. That's the small canisters that you can get at Walmart or wherever. You can also use the canisters that you use on your barbecue grill. But if you choose to do that, you got to have one of those. That's a special hose that will connect to that and to your heater. Well, how much fuel do you need? I suggest that you get a container, use your heater, and see how long one of these will last in your heater. Whatever size heater you might have. You may have a larger one, smaller one, whatever. Find out now how much fuel it takes to run the heater. It would also be a very good idea if you can plan ahead and be able to seal off a room or a portion of a room so that your fuel goes a lot further. Item or thing or week number 2 is enough drinking water for at least a week for each person in the household. You can get bottled water, gallons of water, or any other way of storing the water. You just need to have the water on hand. How much water? I would suggest that you have a gallon per day per person. Here we're talking only about drinking water, not all the other water that you're going to need for all the other things. Item, thing, or week number 3, if this should run out, then you're going to need a way to make more safe drinking water. One way to do that is to have a gravity-fed non-electric water filter. Another way to do that is to use chemical treatment. Of course, that one is Clorox or bleach. There's a variety of chemical treatments that are available. But remember, over time, 6 months to a year, I believe, they will lose quite a bit of their potency. Well, this is pool shock. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's what this is. It's a powder. You can use that to make your own bleach. We have a video coming up about how to use the pool shock to make do-it-yourself bleach. So if you don't want to miss that, you know the routine. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. And of course, when this runs out, you can always boil water to make safe drinking water. And we have a video that I'll put a link to in the description, this one right here on your screen now, about safe stoves and fuels to use indoors in the event that you need to boil your water indoors. Item or thing or week 4, a week's supply or more of no-cook foods. Foods that you can eat right out of the package. And that's just a very small sample right there. We have this video about no-cook foods, and I will put a link to that in the description below in the event that you would like a lot of ideas about foods that you can eat without cooking. Item, thing, or week number 5 will be your lighting. You got different kinds of lights for different reasons. Flashlights and headlamps in the event you need to carry something around to see where you're going. Lanterns, these are battery operated lanterns of course, and candles. in the event you want to light up a room or an area. And this item or category would also include batteries for your things, and if you're going to use candles, cigarette lighter. Item, thing, or week number 6 would be a safe to use indoor stove in the event that you don't want to eat only no cooked foods, but you want to have things such as that you want to heat up, or those that you want to fix, something like that. And of course, if you got a barbecue grill outside, you can fix anything you want on that. But for now, we're talking for those of you guys who need to do things indoors. You need a safe stove and fuel combination. And along those lines, we do have a video that you see the thumbnail for here. There'll be a link in the description below for multiple safe to use indoor stove and fuel combinations. So be sure to check that out after you watch this video. Item, thing, or week 7. Since you're going to be using potentially a lot of propane, butane, or different types of fuels indoors, you need to be certain that you got a carbon monoxide detector and at least one fire extinguisher. Item or thing or week number 8, a basic first aid kit. I know that doesn't look like a first aid kit. This is our home first aid kit. It needs some work, needs some organization. You may already have this covered. If so, great. If not, you need to include at least a basic first aid kit and know how to use it. Item, thing, or week number 9. These are not necessities, but paper plates or styrofoam, paper cups, plastic spoons, forks, and so forth. These are not a necessity, but they will make life much easier and probably lower your level of stress. Thing number 10, a generator or a power source of some kind. You may decide that you don't need such a large one. You may decide you need a larger one, or you may decide you don't need one at all. Power source is a good item to have, but only after you've got the other basics covered. And in the event that a large generator is just not in the equation for you, there are smaller things, like this is a Jackery. It's very small, and it's basically for things like cell phones, computers, and smaller items. My top 10 list may be different than yours. You live in a different area, you got different needs, and so on. So I'm going to show you a few things that you might want to consider including in your top 10. Other items you might want to include in your list, depending upon your situation. That is a portable camp toilet. I won't go into the details, but if you get one, you can figure the rest of it out. Another item, gasoline for your car, or diesel, if you use diesel. An updated and fully packed bug out bag. Communications, for that. And last but not least, if you haven't taken care of this, you need to consider security. We won't go any further into that, but you know what I mean. Once you get your basics met for the short-term emergencies, you might be interested in quick, easy to fix foods for the long-term storage as well. And if so, then check this video out right here.